Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me on this one. In this episode we're going to address your bump stops on your suspension. We're going to focus on the rear of a Mustang here, and this is very common for 2005 up to 2014 Ford Mustang. These are old models, okay? So either you want to call these things bump stops, or what Ford calls them is a joust. And so their solution, especially of cars that are already lowered, it's very important to change out these bump stops to a proper height one. So these bump stops are often very overlooked item on your suspension on your car. They protect a number of items of your suspension, including your shocks, your springs, and other components that kind of sway with the rear axle here. So it's even more important when you have a Mustang of this age and you have the solid rear axle. So anything you can do to your rear suspension to make it more comfortable is key. So another factor too is, say for instance you drag race your car and you're taking off from a dig and you're wondering why your car flexes from left to right or right to left. It could be something as simple as these bump stops, or it can be, your shocks or how your tires load up on the track. Unless you're one of those traffic light heroes, then that would also be an issue too, because you realize it or not, you take off and your car pulls in one direction or it leans in one direction, and that can be something that has to do with your bump stops. So the solution here, and what we're going to install on this car, is from Ford Performance Parts here. And so here's the part number for here. It fits 2005 to 2014. This fits all models. So yeah, if you have a lowered Mustang, this is the kit you want. So inside the kit, what you get here is you get the two rear bump stops here. So you got these two, and then they give you the front ones for your struts. So of course we're not going to adjust the struts today. I already have, so these are some extra parts I have. And also they give you a new bolt kit for the rear bump stop. So anyway, let's go over to the car. I'll show you what I got going on with my car, and then we'll get these guys installed. Alright, so here's the driver's side here, and you can tell right off the bat I have a huge issue. Here's the bracket for the bump stop here, and some of the material left in it. You can tell it's gone. So I mean, this is what it's supposed to look like, right? So we're going to replace this one. Of course we're going to go check out the other side here in a second, but I just want to give you a quick look at this, is how it kind of sits, and it kind of bounces up to this area here. So the suspension is unloaded right now. What I do is I got the back end jacked up, but you see the jack there, it's just holding the diff for now. But I got jack stands, the whole rear end is jacked up and the suspension is hanging down. That's going to give us clearance to install these, and then later on, after we install these, I'll show you when we load up the suspension up how close these bump stops get to this area here and how important they are. So let's go check out the other side real quick. Alright, so here's the bump stop on the passenger side. You can see that it's fairly worn. Yep, look, just like that. It was about to leave on me pretty soon anyway. So like I said, this one's going to go here like this. So something simple like this will make all the world of difference. They're not that pricey, and it's a must-have for your suspension, especially if you're a Mustang owner for sure. So let's go ahead and go back to the other side real quick and get one of these installed, and then we'll test it out. Alright, so I elected to go ahead and do the driver's side first, and all you're going to need is a Torx 40 to remove the two bolts. First, I just want to break them loose with a wrench here. Make sure I don't strip these. If you need to, you can spray some penetrating fluid right underneath here. That'll kind of help you. Alright, so chances are your bracket where it sits here is rusted as well, just like you see here. So I'm going to do is just take a quick wire brush to it and then recoat it. Alright, so now we can go ahead and install the bracket. I already got the rust reformer set up here. It's already dried to the touch, so we can go ahead and install. So if you're curious what I'm using, it's just Rust-Oleum rust reformer. So and go ahead and position our bump stop here. You can tell it's going to compress quite a bit. There's a little bit of play here, so you can see how it comes in. So once everything's installed, it'll sandwich down. So we'll put it there, get our new bolts. So what I'm trying to do here is just balance it out. Go. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to my wrench to make sure I can get a good feel of it actually being tight. That was nice and tight. Alright, so there you go. Fairly simple. It's not going to take you too long to do. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other side off camera real quick, and then I guess on the next scene you're going to see how this thing actually works. I'm going to go ahead and load up the suspension back up and see how close this bump stop gets. Alright, so I got the other side completed. Now it's a matter of testing. I'm going to show you how close we get from here to here once the car suspension is fully loaded. When I mean loaded, it's like, you know, your car sitting in the driveway or parking lot or whatever. So let's go ahead and jack it up and see what it looks like. Alright, so that's it there. So this is what it looks like. This is how much space when you have your car parked. For me, it's about two fingers, just about, if I squeeze. So you can only imagine if you're going down the road and you hit a bump, you're definitely going to bottom out. or if you take off from a launcher and your rear end squats, you definitely know that this bumper is going to bounce off the body of the car for sure. So you can see how important it is to have it. And if I were you, I would go check your Mustang and see your condition. See if you need to replace yours. As always, thank you for watching this video. I hope it helps you out. Hopefully you can tell that this install is very simple to do, and you guys should do it. So I hope this video helps, and thank you for watching.